In this video, we're going to have a look at the National 5 Numeracy Fractions question. We have two examples of this. There's multiple ways on how you can solve this. In Class 2A, it was found that 1/4 of the pupils walk to school and 2/3 come by bus or car. The rest of the pupils cycle. What fraction of the pupils cycle to school? Okay, so we've got some of them that walk, some of them that come by bus or car, and the rest of them come by cycling. The issue is here that we don't know how many people there are altogether. We don't know that there were 100 pupils or 20 pupils. We just know that there was a group of pupils. And you notice in this question, we're dealing with fractions. So the big thing we need to appreciate is that when we are dealing with fractions, a whole, one whole is equal to 1. Okay, so if we think about 1 as being the whole class, so out of the whole class, 1/4 of them walked, 2/3 of them came by bus or car, and the rest of them, what fraction of the pupils came to school? Well, then we can figure that out, because let's imagine, if we think if this was easier, if there were 30 pupils in the class, if 3 walked and 20 got the bus, how many cycled? Well, we would add these two together and then take it away from the whole amount. And the whole amount here would be 30. But here we're dealing with fractions, so the whole amount in fractions is 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these two quantities together. We're going to do 1/4 plus 2/3. When we're adding fractions, we need the same denominator. These denominators are not the same. 4 and 3 are not the same number. We need to find the lowest common multiple of 4 and 3, the smallest number that is in the 4 times table and in the 3 times table, and that number is 12. To get from 4 to 12, we've multiplied by 3, so we need to do 1 times 3. To get from 3 to 12, we've multiplied by 4, we need to do 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So we've got 3/12 plus 8/12, so that's 11/12 altogether, not 11/24, 11/12. So, remember what we said, if there was 23 pupils altogether out of the 30 that walked or got the bus, then we would do 30 take away that amount to figure out how many cycled. So we just take the whole amount and we subtract this value. So we'll say pupils that cycled so we've got a whole, I'm going to subtract 11/12. So 1 whole is the same as 12/12. And if we subtract 11/12, that's going to give us 1/12 of the pupils cycled. 1/12 of the pupils cycled, 1/4 of them walked, and 2/3 came by bus or car. One more. In Class 3A, it was found that 2/5 of the pupils walked to school and 1/2 come by bus or car. The rest cycle. What fraction of pupils cycle? Once again, if this was easy numbers, if we knew how many people there were in the class, we would add the number that walked and came by bus together, and then we would subtract that by the whole amount. Here we don't know the whole amount, so we just treat the whole amount, because we're dealing with fractions, as 1. In fractions, 1 whole is equal to 1. So we're going to take the people that walk and they came by bus or car, and we're going to find out what they were altogether. So that's going to be 2/5 plus 1/2. When we add and subtract fractions, we need the same denominator. We don't have the same denominator here. So we find the lowest common multiple of 5 and 2. Smallest number in the 5 and the 2 times table is 10. To get from 5 to 10, we multiply by 2. So I need to do 2 times 2. To get from 2 to 10, I've multiplied by 5. I need to multiply 1 by 5. So 4/10 plus 5/10 is 9/10. So 9/10 either come by walking or by bus or car. So if we would need to figure out who cycles, what does I say up there? I'll just say the fraction who cycle So it's the whole, and we're going to subtract 9/10. If we're dealing with tenths, a whole is the same as 10/10. Subtract 9/10, which is 1/10. So 1/10 of the class cycle to school. Thank you very much.